Hey, it's good to have you at craft session again this time. And you guys had a really cool story this week about Lazarus. I know you're kind of taking a break from the Answers in Genesis creation stuff. And this time, hopefully you were able to watch the video that they had about Lazarus and his sisters, Mary and Martha, and how Jesus came to be there and the amazing miracle that he did that day. If you haven't watched the story, then I encourage you to do that. You can do it either before or after, it doesn't matter. But it is an amazing one of Jesus's miracles. And the fact that it was his friend, and that how they showed that Jesus was sad during that time, and yet it turned out to be an excellent reunion with those friends. Well, so the biggest part of the story takes place at the tomb where they had buried Lazarus. So that's what our craft this week you're going to get. You're going to get a picture that's pretty much already in color, but you can go ahead and color the tomb if you want anytime. And it's a cave, is what they had. There's also a big rock, which we're going to go ahead and you can just cut out on that line. And then there is Lazarus, all right? And you can see, has his eyes open, which is when he was alive, and then his eyes closed, which was when the Bible calls it asleep, or when he had died. So what we're going to do is, you can color these again on your own any way you'd like. We're going to cut them all out. I'll let you do that. You can either stop the film and do that yourself for a minute, or you can just kind of watch as I do it. So I had already gone ahead and made one. So these are my Lazarus, okay? They're the exact same color because he's the exact same guy. I'm going to not use glue this time. I'm going to use tape, but if all you have is glue, that's fine. So you just tape them front to back like this. So we're just going to put a couple pieces of tape on the side and on each side, just so long as he doesn't fall apart on you while we do our next step. Okay, so there he is, done with tape. You can lay him down for a minute. On your cave and your rock that you have cut out, on the back of the sheet, Miss Evelyn put a little brad, they call it. You can just pop that out. If you don't have one, hopefully you got one laying around in your junk drawer or something, because this will come in handy. I found out there's a little teeny hole right here in the cave. You might want to take this or whatever you want. If you can't do it, have your mom or dad help you. And just if you pinch it real hard and push, it'll pop through that paper. And then on this rock, if you'll notice, actually this little mark right here is the perfect place to put the same hole. So if you just pop through that and then hold your finger on it and pop it through here, then all you have to do is lay those two pieces open in the back like that. Okay, so here we've got our cave. And back then, like they said, when people were inside the cave, they rolled a stone. When either someone had died or something, they could roll the stone back and place the people in there. Then they rolled the stone back so that they would just be sealed up. And in this case, they had Lazarus inside the tomb. But before he got there, they bound him. Like they said, they wrapped him in grave clothes. And back then, they were just things that would allow them to pack the spices in. So we don't have grave clothes, but we do have toilet paper. So we would encourage you to make sure it's okay that you go get toilet paper. We know it was a commodity of hot item for a while back. You need at least, I would say, like an arm length. If you have short arms, do two. All right, and then I found it easiest just kind of, as you go, kind of fold it in half. Again, the tape comes in handy here. You start at the bottom. We're just going to tape it. And all you have to do is really tape it one time to the front and to the back. And then you're just going to start wrapping it. If you let it hang down, it kind of makes its own little halfway mark. And then you're just going to wrap him up. Because he had died, and his sisters were sad that this happened. And Jesus, they called for him, and he wasn't there right away. He waited three days, and he showed up. And then he did show up. And I'm just going to wrap that just around his head, just a little bit. And then I'm going to tape it again. Now I want to see his eyes just for a minute, so we're going to squish this up here. Okay, so there we see him. And he's been wrapped up. At this point, I would, if you've either watched the story or you haven't, you can go back and actually do this while they're telling the story. and you can roll your stone away, okay? And they can put Lazarus in the grave, okay? Now, you can do it one of two ways. If you even have time and you wanted to like cut this or slit it and you can bend it back, you could slide him right in there and that'd be kind of cool. All right, but then we're going to roll our stone back and he's going to be buried in the tomb. And so the best part of the story was when Jesus came. Now you'd think, well, he was too late because Lazarus was already dead. But when they went to the tomb, Jesus did something that was very unique. And all he did was had them roll the stone away. And first of all, they were like, but Lord, he's been in there like 4 days. He's really going to stink, which was true. But Jesus said, just do it. So they rolled the stone away. And then as he called his name, he would be like, all he said was his first name. He just said, Lazarus, come forth. And so Lazarus comes out of that tomb. And then we can see that he has his eyes open, which means Christ brought him back from the dead, which was an amazing miracle. And he was able to be back with his friends and Mary and Martha. And news spread greatly and quickly about this miracle that he had done. So his friend, who had been dead, and placed in the tomb. Stone had been rolled in front of it. When Jesus was called and he called them to move the stone away and he called for Lazarus. And when he came out, he was alive, which was a great testimony to the power of God and the resurrection power that he has. So if you guys have any questions, you can either ask Miss Evelyn, I'll do it. But I would just say, yeah, after you get your toilet paper and wrap it around, you can figure out how to make it fit the best, but that's our craft that goes with our lesson today about Lazarus and Jesus raising him from the dead. All right, have a good time with this one.